updates to share with you regarding Hurricane Ernesto, which is fast approaching Bermuda. I would like to hand it over to Ms. Pitcher to provide the latest weather update.
Thank you, Minister Premier Bermuda. Good afternoon, everyone. As of the noon update from the National Hurricane Center, Hurricane Ernesto is now expected to have its closest point of approach to be 8 a.m. Saturday morning. It's still expected to be strong Category 1 or weak Category 2 as it passes the area. However, as this is a few hours earlier than previous thought, please make sure that everybody is paying close attention to our latest forecasts. Winds are going to be increasing to tropical storm force later this afternoon, and we're going to continue to see conditions deteriorate into the evening and overnight hours. We can expect 36 plus hours of 50-knot sustained winds, and even the tropical storm force winds are going to be lasting closer to 40 hours. So again, it's going to be a long duration event. We've also had a lot of rain recently. As of this morning, we've had 3.5 inches recorded at the Bermuda Weather Service. Ernesto is expected to bring another 5 to 8, possibly more inches of rain as it goes through. It is a very wet system. Anybody under any heavier showers or thunderstorms can expect an increase in precipitation beyond the 5 to 8 inches that we currently have forecast. Sorry if you are already wet, and wherever the standing puddles are, they're going to continue to persist throughout the weekend. Otherwise, please, everybody, stay safe. The eye of Ernesto is likely to pass over the west end of the island, if not the entire island. It is not recommended to go outside in the eye of a hurricane. While the winds do dramatically decrease, please remember that those hurricane force winds are right there at the back of the eye wall, and you are not going to see and possibly hear them coming. I want everybody to be mindful, and please stay safe, check on each other, check on your friends, and we're going to get through this together. It's not our first hurricane. I'm sorry to say, I'm sure it won't be our last, but we've got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. As you have just heard, Hurricane Ernesto seriously threatens our community. We are facing an intense and prolonged period of at least 36 hours of sustained winds and dangerous weather conditions that will begin this afternoon at around 2 p.m. and last throughout tomorrow and into early Sunday. Let me say again, at least 36 hours of very powerful and life-threatening winds. The Emergency Measures Organization, or EMO, met again this morning at 10 a.m., and I want to share some key decisions and actions taken to ensure everyone's safety. First, the causeway. The causeway will close at 9 p.m. tonight and not 10 p.m. as was earlier stated. This earlier closure is due to updated weather data that indicates that high winds will start earlier and are necessary to ensure the safety of all residents. Before it is reopened, the Ministry of Public Works will conduct a thorough assessment after the storm passes, and which must be done during daylight hours. As previously announced, the Aleph Wade International Airport will close at 8 p.m. tonight. Skyport has informed us that today's British Airways flight is expected to arrive earlier than scheduled and leave around 6:30 p.m. I urge anyone with travel plans to stay informed and make necessary arrangements immediately. The emergency shelter at Cedar Bridge Academy will now open an hour earlier at 5 p.m. This facility is available to all residents, particularly those who are vulnerable or without a safe place to stay. I cannot stress enough that if you require electricity to power oxygen delivery machines in a non-emergency setting, you should go to the emergency shelter early and do not wait until the last minute. KEMH should only be used in the event of an emergency. Regarding public transportation, no ferry services will operate today, and the last bus will run at 6 p.m. this evening. There will be no public transportation services at all on Saturday. Please remain sheltered. For those in need of urgent medical care, the Lamb Fogel Urgent Care Center in St. David's will open tonight at 8 p.m. The Bermuda Hospitals Board has strategically positioned ambulances at key locations across the island. One at King Edward Memorial Hospital, one at Port Royal Fire Station, one at Sylvia Richardson Senior's Residence in St. George's, and one at Roy Kemp. However, let me be clear, once winds reach 50 knots, ambulance crews cannot respond to calls for obvious safety reasons. Government officers will service their last customer at 3 p.m. today and close at 4 p.m. Please ensure you have completed any necessary government business before then. As a reminder, during the storm, you should tune in to the emergency broadcast station at 100.1 FM for official information and updates. The station will begin broadcasting at 8 p.m. tonight. Now, I must speak directly to every resident on this island. This is not a storm to be taken lightly. We are about to endure at least 36 hours of hurricane and tropical storm force winds, starting with tropical storm force winds approximately 2 p.m. this afternoon. This is a significant period of time to be under such conditions, and it presents a considerable risk to life and property. If you do not take these warnings seriously, you are putting yourself in danger and the lives of our emergency personnel who may be called to assist you. Please do not be fooled by the calm when the eye of the storm passes over us tomorrow. This lull in the winds does not indicate that the danger has passed. The storm is expected to move just west of Bermuda, and as the eye moves away, the winds will rapidly and dangerously pick up again with full force. Venturing outside during this period could put your life at serious risk. The second half of the storm will be just as intense, if not more so than the first. Stay indoors and stay safe throughout the passage of this storm, which is essentially all day on Saturday and until the all clear is given. Folks, be under no illusion. This storm is the real deal. Swimming in the seas during this time is extremely foolhardy and must not even be contemplated. Lifeguard services have already been suspended across the island. To conclude, I remind you of the key points. The causeway will close at 9 p.m. tonight. The LF Wade International Airport will close at 8 p.m. tonight. The emergency shelter at Cedar Bridge Academy will open at 5 p.m. tonight. The last bus will run at 6 p.m. tonight, and there will be no public transportation on Saturday. The Lamb Fogel Unit Care Center will open at 8 p.m. tonight. Tune in to 100.1 FM for official updates during the storm. Safety first. These powerful storms can cause widespread damage with strong winds, heavy rainfall, and storm surges. Preparedness, vigilance, and common sense are essential to protect lives and property. Please take every precaution to protect your life and property. Stay indoors, stay safe, and I pray that we are all spared any real loss or damage. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Minister. Members of the media, this is the opportunity to share some questions. Okay, Jasmine, did you want to share some questions?
Thank you, Minister, for your comments. You mentioned that ambulances are not likely to be dispatched if winds over 50 knots. Can you tell us what happens in that event? Will fire trucks or other services be sent out? What happens in those situations?
Well, in the case of an emergency as normal, the fire trucks are normally first responders. So because fire trucks are heavier, they have a better chance of going out if the winds surpass 50 knots.
So people will be able to have access to emergency care if needed.
Let's hope that we all stay in and stay safe, because even those that are driving the ambulances we have to look out for their safety also, but emergencies will be responded to as normal.
So the storm, I guess, is there any particular reason why the hurricane has sped up? Can you?
Nature.
Going from Michelle.
Thank you. Yes, to echo that, Mother Nature. Every tropical cyclone is its own unique system, and they all have their own factors that influence them. This one is just starting to speed up a little bit more. It has a little bit more dry air wrapped around into it, which is limiting its intensification. And there's also going to be some more wind shear, not to be too technical, but coming over this weekend. It's also combining with the front that's been over us, and there's other factors that are just happen to be picking this one up a little bit faster now.
So it's due to approaches from the west, but are there specific areas that people should take extra care to hunker down and reinforce?
The exposed and elevated areas of the island are the ones that are going to have the highest winds. But basically, Bermuda is small when we think about the size of Bermuda to the size of a hurricane. So the entire island is going to be equally affected by the conditions.
Thank you.
Right, and we do have Premier David Burt with us. Premier, do you want to just share some closing sentiments to the community at this time?
The only thing that I will say is I want to thank the minister, thank the Bermuda Weather Service, thank the disaster risk reduction and mitigation team, and the emergency measures organization, all of the emergency workers who are preparing for this particular storm. I want to echo the sentiments of the minister and everyone who is here. Please take this seriously. This isn't about whether or not it's a Cat 1 or a Cat 2 or anything else like that. This is a long duration wind event. Storms are unpredictable. There can be a few shifts, but the fact is we are expecting a sustained period of very strong winds. And it is important that you hurry up, make sure your preparations are done, check in on your neighbors, check in on the vulnerable, make sure you're listening to official broadcasts, and please stay safe. This is going to be a significantly long duration event, and we all must make sure that we rush our preparation to completion so that we can have a safe time. I have no doubt that once daylight comes on Sunday, the emergency services will be out. They'll be ready to go ahead and to assess the damage and put Bermuda back on its path of being ready to operate and open again. But it is vital that we make the preparations as we're expecting an extended period of wind, as has been stated by the players up here. And so I want to say, as the minister said, stay safe, Bermuda, and I extend the prayers and hope that we'll be spared from significant damage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Premier. Thank you, Minister.